You're Bill O'Reilly. We'll do it live.
Yes. We're doing it live. I can't. What is it? I can't read it. There's no words on this. Oh my goodness! All right, see if I can wind up and kickstart the Facebook pages. See what happens.
Up for the
here.
wind up.
I know.
Close it in.
Listen, I'm telling you.
Outside.
Yep.
This is.
I
I tell you, getting these pages up and running sometimes it's like it's back in the day when you were broke and your battery was dead, but lucky you drove a 4-speed, so you would have your buddy push you down the hill while you pop the clutch and get it in gear, you know?
Yeah.
I do that every day.
Hey.
Just to get to work. I told work today, I said, I was running late, and I said, look, I'm having technical difficulties. They said, what do you mean you're having technical difficulties? I said, technically, I don't want to go in today.
At least you're honest.
I was honest.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we're up and live. Both pages are up. So, hello.
Oh.
Happy Thursday. Happy Friday Eve.
Friday Eve.
Thursday before the holidays. Hope everyone's
weekend.
doing really well.
Yeah.
Hope Jesus brings
We have a
everybody.
church called Monday, Thursday.
Monday, Thursday. Yep.
The Thursday of the Last Supper, yeah.
Yep.
John, did you know all of Daffy Duck's name?
Yes, Armando, Sheldon, Dumas, Horatio. Yes. Yeah, I saw your back in the day post before I came on.
John knew that. Yes.
Wait a minute. Wait. Back the truck up. Back the Looney Tunes up. What?
Today's Daffy Duck's birthday.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jen is a huge. That's like always been her favorite character, Daffy Duck. I gotta let her know that.
Mine.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Tomorrow's mine.
What?
Tomorrow? Wait, are you sure? Are you sure it's your birthday tomorrow?
I'm sick of you.
$3,000 buys a lot of balloons, Janie.
I'm so sick of you. I love you, but I'm sick of you.
Wait a second. Pow! I got you another one.
I love it.
A lot of holiday roast.
That's exactly right.
Oh my God.
That's right. You guys at home tomorrow. We're not worried about Jesus dropping eggs off for the little kids on Sunday. Tomorrow's Janie's birthday. Wish her a happy birthday, please, everybody.
Aww.
Happy birthday, Janie.
Thanks,
right.
bud. Oh man, that makes me feel. I was surprised. Look at JD. I was surprised today by my coworkers. One of my coworkers brought me a most beautiful chantilly cake.
Chantilly
cake, got it,
right. And then I did sing that. And then we had cupcakes, and I got a beautiful new Christmas ornament. And then one of the cards said, "You're going to need a bigger cake," and it was Bruce going up to a birthday cake. So
what is a chantilly cake?
What?
What is a chantilly cake?
A chantilly cake is basically it's 3 layers of a sponge cake. It's whipped cream icing on it, but in between the layers is fresh berries, and there's fresh berries on the top. So it's not like a buttercream, but it's sweet enough. So it's like a souped up strawberry shortcake, if you will. But it's really good.
Well, I got just the person to whip that up for you here.
Oh God! Oh my God!
We're making a party corn. We're making a party corn. We're ready to send it. Oh, the party corn. Stick it in the microwave. Stick it in the microwave.
If any character should have the right to swear, it should be him. You know that?
Because you wouldn't know if he was swearing or not.
Exactly. Oh, gotta love it. Gotta love it.
It's awesome.
my goodness.
Oh my gosh! I hope my sister's watching because we're such Muppet fans.
That's why I brought it up. Yeah,
Yeah.
We are. Thanks to Dad, we're Muppet fans.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Alan's joining us, and he's enjoying the birthday celebration. Alan,
Oh,
thank you, buddy.
yeah. Thanks, babe. It's all it's smoke in the kitchen. I love y'all. I am so blessed to have you all as family. Really, thank you so much.
Happy birthday,
Thank
Janie.
you. I won't be able to show my face on the island now, but thank you.
But think,
Only
but
Swedish
think about
I
this.
know is the film is okie dokie. That's the only Swedish.
Oh my gosh, that was
You'll be able
awesome.
to-
Thank you.
Robert saying, did I miss anything? You missed wishing Janie a happy birthday, Robert. Come on, buddy.
Now wait a minute. He's in Scotland, so it's okay.
She's gonna
hi.
tonight.
Him and his
She's gonna
stepmom.
she's gonna drive past midnight tonight. She's your license now, so she's good to go. No more junior license. Right?
Theoretically, it is almost your birthday in Scotland.
In Scotland,
It
you're
is
right.
in Scotland, yeah, it is, and in
He's ahead of
New Tasmania, because I got a birthday wish already from Sonia. So
Nice, very nice.
thank you, Robert. Thanks, honey.
Very nice.
You know what? I'm blessed. Thank you guys so much. I love y'all. Seriously.
You're welcome. We love you too. Absolutely. Yeah, can't forget about that kind of stuff. You know? It only gets worse as we get older. So damn it, might as well buckle up
Listen,
and
as
enjoy
long
the
as
ride.
I'm
You
above,
know.
as long as I'm above ground, I'm gonna always celebrate my birthday, whether it's by myself or with other people. So there you go.
You know what, I have an interesting perspective because I work with 8 and 9-year-olds,
Right.
and that's not the kids; those are the other adults I work with. But regardless, they'll often say, "Mr. Jones, why don't you ever tell us when it's your birthday?" I'm like, guys, when you're turning 8, you're going, "Yeah, I'm 8." When you're 12, you're like, double digits. You're 16, you drive a car. I'm like, once you hit the 50s, you're going, oh, damn, I'm in my 50s. It's my birthday. It's just not as fun anymore, guys.
It is for me because of such things of what you guys just did and what my coworkers have done, and I really don't want to celebrate that much anyway. But you know what? The surprises I've had today has been very, 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 very appreciative, and I don't want to go without saying that.
That's what matters. That's what matters.
So, all right, enough of that crap. Let's go.
All right, so we got an awesome show tonight. We have, and he'll be here momentarily. Cort is joining us from Michigan, from out kind of Midwest, and he is a boat mechanic, and he has built what I think is probably outside of the original ORCA, the coolest looking replica that I've ever seen. And I sat and watched his videos, I don't know, a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. Didn't make the connection until a couple weeks ago that this was this guy. And I went back and rewatched some of his stuff, and the time that he went into just planning this thing. I mean, wait till you see it. I had him on 2 weeks ago, and he was sitting out in it. And I think that's him. And I swear, I mean, it was like you were sitting on set. I mean, this thing is incredible. So he just popped on, and it looks like he's in. So let's bring him in. And here's our special guest of the evening.
Whoa.
Cort, how are you?
I don't have you, my buzz. Hi.
Welcome.
Hey, great to have you back on here, bud.
Yeah. Sorry, my buds aren't working.
That's quite all right.
Can you guys hear me?
Not a problem. Yeah.
Nice.
Hear you, no problem at all.
Hi, everyone.
Great to meet you. So Cort, this is these are all the hosts. We've got Janie birthday tomorrow. And
Happy
we got
birthday.
Michael.
Thank you.
We got Michael Smith, and we have the great JD John Hooper himself down there in the bottom. So
Okay.
The man, the myth, the legend.
that's exactly right. The Miss Yeah. So how are things going out your way? Is it you got
It's
snow on the
going good
ground,
out
or what's
my
going
way.
on?
Sorry,
Is
I'm
it?
not the most tech savvy guy. I'm trying to figure out how to expand it. Oh well. Things are going great out here. How's everything for you all?
Doing well. We are gearing up for the 50th, and a bunch of the events coming on. And speaking of which, you guys at home, the gentleman we're talking to right now, and what you see him sitting in, he's going to be joining us at the 50th event. Just so you guys know, and I believe what the 23rd, correct?
Yes. So the set will be on display for. I get there, I think, the night of the 18th. So it'll be ready for the morning of the 19th through the 23rd. I do have a little kind of talk session, 11 a.m. on the 23rd, and then I'll break down later that day.
All right. Well, that's awesome. So it's going to be there that entire time. Wow, that's incredible.
Okay, that is the best birthday present for me today. Because I was afraid I was going to miss it.
No, it'll be there.
Well, I tell you what, why don't we start off with, how about giving us just a little bit of background on you? Like, honestly, I'm so intrigued as to how on earth you came up with a plan and having the skills. That's the other part. You got to have the skills to build it.
Thank you.
So what? A little bit of background on you, Cort.
Yeah. So I grew up in Sacramento, California. Currently live in Michigan, but I grew up on the West Coast and spent most of my life over there. And as a kid, just watching movies, the old VHS tapes, and at my grandfather's on the weekend. One of those tapes happened to be Jaws. I don't know if they knew in the beginning that I was watching that movie, but I watched it a lot, and to the point where my sister took it actually and tried to hide it.
And now she's disowned.
Yeah. So I've been a Jaws fan since I guess 5 or 6, whenever the first time was that I started watching it. Even though it scared the living bejesus out of me, but kind of a fascination grew then, and then after high school, I joined the Coast Guard. Actually, I was in the Coast Guard for just under 9 years as a machinery technician, and so a lot of my boat kind of dialing in as a machinery technician, working on stuff on ships. I never did small boat stations. I was always on ships out at sea. So
were you on a cutter? Were you on a cutter?
Several, yeah, yes.
Were you?
I was on two buoy tenders, 1 construction tender, and a 378, the Coast Guard cutter midget.
Okay.
Yep. So I got out after about just under 9 years, and then from there just went right into recreational boats. For a minute there, I went back to school, a little bit at Portland State University, and then up into Canada. Went to Camosun College in Victoria for a little bit, but ultimately I just love working on stuff, so I went right back into working on boats, and I still do it to this day.
Interesting.
Very cool. A lot of admiration on the mechanical end of things. Period. Definitely something that I have a lot of love for. Don't have near as much experience with boats. Mine always had wheels on them, but I'm in central Pennsylvania, so not a lot of water there. That goes.
I like to play with cars too. That's my other hobby, is classic cars. So I kind of play with it all.
Very nice. Very nice. Awesome. So what inspired you to say, hey, I need the ORCA at my house?
Believe it or not, like for absolutely no reason. I travel, so I live in Michigan, but a lot of our boats I work on in the summertime are over in Chicago. So I'm always driving around, staying in hotels in Chicago, and the evenings, usually long days, but on the days are not long, I got nothing to do. And for some reason, I just had a hair up, and thought maybe I wonder if I could draw this. And and at that time, I wasn't planning on building it. I was just like, I wonder if I could just actually draw this and figure out the scale from nothing. Just, maybe I can find some of those things that were in the boat somewhere. And I literally just, that's all it took. And, I'm kind of one of those people, when I get an idea, I go with it. So, I just started drawing it. And that was probably a summer of, traveling. When I was in a hotel room, I just bring my little graph paper with me and draw it out, guess. A lot of guessing, obviously, at first. And then I was getting frustrated that I couldn't figure out scale. So I was like, well, I guess I got to start buying some of this stuff. Hopefully it's still, this stuff's 50 years old. So hopefully some of it's still around, and almost, thank God for eBay, all of this stuff is still around. So I was really able to start getting the scale dialed in once I was able to get some of the props that were in the boat in my hand. So, and again, just disclaimer, none of these are screen used props that I know of. So these are all just eBay exact things that were on the boat. But I needed them to know what size was what. And from there, just kept drawing until it made sense.
Sounds like it's like putting a puzzle together, basically.
It was, and honestly, that's kind of it's almost like a little bit of Where's Waldo and playing construction.
Where's the first aid kit? Can we?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank God for the HD version. If they never would have, made it HD, I don't think this would have been possible, because you can't read the label of anything. No,
not as old as that is. Yeah.
Yeah, and so when the HD version came out, I was like, oh, I can actually see names on things. And the family, I think maybe that was probably one of the first ones, because it was the easiest one to read, and then it got harder and harder from there. And I'm working on boats, and I've worked on a lot of older boats too. So some of the controls and steering wheel, there's only so many marine parts manufacturers, even back then. So it was kind of easy to narrow down some of the marine stuff that was made, but all the other trinkets that are in here, that it got pretty hard on some of them. And that's just kind of where I don't do social media or any other online stuff. So I whittle my time away when I do have time to just, I'll hunt on eBay for an hour, and I'll just see if I can find this stuff.
Jenny asked where the first aid kit was. I've got
Hey,
there it is.
There you go. All right. Hey, we have a couple people that are on it, just popping up a couple comments here real quick. So Jamie, our good friend Stevie Sanders, is joining us and saying unreal and simply amazing.
Thank you.
Sonia, same as well, and Victor is saying welcome, Cort. What a jawsome idea. So yeah, and I have to say that what really intrigues me is the fact that when you think of taking on a project like this, I would think that you would start with whatever, the floor, the walls, the bench. You started with all the items that you put in, and that's where you started to determine your scale and how you were going to build it. I just think that's just so intriguing and so impressive, because it's almost like maybe perhaps having to work a little backwards because you needed something to use to judge. And so, instead of starting big and then working about the small, the small ideas and details, the small idea or details is what gave you, everything else. I just think that's so impressive.
Thank you. Yeah, I had to know. I'm kind of a, I have a minor OCD and some other, issues, but I needed to know that before I put a piece of wood together that I was right, like I had it right. So you draw the forward view, the aft view, the port, starboard, and then of course you draw an overhead view. And you don't get all those shots in the movie. Like you get mostly the helm when Quint's on the radio, or you get, of course, this view. That's the biggest view is this. And then every now and then, see the stove during the smash in the radio and barrel hits the window. But that's really all the good shots you get. You don't get to see in detail many other corners of this. So as I figured out dimensions, I could draw that. I'm like, well, it has to go this far. And luckily, there's planks in here. I don't know if I could have done it if those planks were there. They basically turned into a ruler. Once I knew how wide the planks were, I was like, oh, okay. Now I can just count planks, and now I know how many inches that is. So that's really the thing that helped me out a lot was that they had done tongue through planking in the ORCA. And so I wasn't comfortable putting anything together. you know, because that's money. So I didn't want to spend any money until I knew that, like, this actually, I think, is accurate.
Yeah, you can put it together. Yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
Sure. I have you know what, I thought maybe since you're talking about that, I'd pull up just a little clip of one of your videos. It shows a little bit of the planks and some of the things that you started out with here. I'll keep the volume off. The way if you want to, you know, say anything about it as it goes here, I'll just pull it in for a minute. And then
Yeah.
I have a couple stills here that you sent as well. So let me
feel free.
that. Absolutely. Yeah, let me pull that in here. Just a second. Make sure I got the right one. Oh, here it is. Okay.
Nice.
There we go. So this is what he's talking about, you know, with the
Nice.
with the planks, and you'll see him even go up and hit on some of those things. And he narrates the video. I just figured, obviously, having him on live, you know, a little bit.
Yeah. So that's kind of part of the OCD was the planks had to line up where on the bulkheads where they line up in the movie, and that was a lot of the hard part. Was you might draw the port side and it looks identical to the movie, and then when I drew the overhead, it wouldn't match up. So I was like, well, that can't be it then. I have to draw it again. So, you know, I just crumple it up, start over, and you kind of keep having to draw each view until every time you laid a view down on the graph paper, they all had the same exact dimensions on the graph paper. You know, and in real life, they would be the same. But yeah, I'm still upset I can't find that brass banding that goes around the hatches. That is just completely non-existent. So that's the one that still eludes me.
That is just eerie.
Yeah, the clock, the Schatz clocks. Yeah. So again, HD, you can't see the fonts. Yeah, and even in HD, you can't see the name. But there was only so many that had, you know, the way the ring is inside between the numbers, and then actually having the little thermostat in the bottom of it, and the two key winders. So those were giveaways. And finally, I actually bought the wrong set first, which was unfortunate because those are not cheap. But I eventually found the right one.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Yeah.
And the kitties, I don't know how you pronounce it, if it's Kidda or Kitties, but those extinguishers, you know, they're still made today. Not that version, but the company's still around. And those actually, these older ones are still heavily prevalent on eBay. You go on there right now and find one for $30. You know, they're still around.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was probably the most prevalent thing I found. Everything else was a little bit of a hunt, but the extinguishers were immediate. And the Stewart Warner gauges, those are pretty prevalent as well. And the Morse controls for the engine, those are still, I mean, still used today. They still make that Morse control today. So that's been around forever.
I was going to say, yeah, I know on my end of things, Stewart Warner gauges have been around forever and a day, and you still come across them all the time. I don't know if they're making current things, but yeah, I mean, that name has been around, oh my gosh, as long as I can remember.
Especially if you're a car guy, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. And let me pull up. So here is, send me a couple shots of what you're, so you're looking at some actual shot there on the left, and you're looking at his on the right. And so, I mean, the details are just incredibly, just meticulous. And honestly, the only difference I notice is the fact that the pictures on the right are newer, so it's much better clarity than the pictures from the 1970s. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Right.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And the outside, honestly, I never meant to build I didn't build this for the 50th. I didn't know this was going to happen. I just wanted to see if I could do it. And two, I was like, well, luckily my wife's like the most amazing person on earth. And I'm like, do you mind if I build the inside of a boat in one of our rooms in the basement?
Please.
Yeah, please. She's like, okay, I guess. And but she let me do it, bless her heart. And so I only ever meant to build the inside, and it's a set, really, truly is. It all comes apart. I built it as a set, and it was just only going to be that until some of my videos got some comments like, "Hey, there's a 50th coming up. Maybe you should consider that." And I'm like, "Okay." And then I got accepted to attend, and I'm like, "Oh, well, you can't look at the outside of this. It's not meant to be looked at. It's all just sticks." So I had to take it apart from the basement, bring it up into the garage, Again, my wonderful wife helped me do that, and then I had to build the outside, having not planned to build the outside. So I actually had to rebuild all the starboard windows had to get rebuilt because the way that I constructed it was only to support the inside, not to do anything outside with it. So I had to rebuild those. And of course, I had to make everything else from scratch. And I had never looked at the stills from the outside because I wasn't planning on it. So now back to the drawing board, right? So I had to go pull up a million more movie stills and draw again and find the rod holder and find, really, there's not much out there to find. It's the rod holder or the Perco vent that's up there, the little horn looking thing right there. That's
Yeah.
So that's really all you could find. There was nothing else to find. So scaling the outside was almost trickier than the inside.
Right.
That's
Right.
amazing.
There's one or two questions popping up. Jamie Sanders is asking, please tell me when I can walk on this thing and actually see it when I'm on the vineyard. He's going to be there for the 50th.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll let you answer that one. And I got one or two other ones here too.
It'll be on display the 19th through the 23rd every day. And it's actually, they're not usually open Mondays. They're doing it just for the 50th. And I don't know if they've ever done it before, but they're usually always closed on Mondays. But they asked me to stay an extra day because I was originally going to break down on Sunday. So it will be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday on display at the MV Museum.
Man, cannot wait to see this thing in person.
And it's interactive too. I want people to walk in and look around, take a picture at the seat, and just be a part of it. So the more people walk in it, the more authentic it gets. It's supposed to be a beat up old fishing boat. So
correct. Yeah.
I'm for all that.
Sure. And Marty Milner, who helped build the original ORCA, actually had commented after I posted that we were bringing you on tonight. He said he's going to try and swing by, and he's going to be on the island for the 50th. And I would love if he would walk in there and talk to you. That would be, wow.
That would be incredible. I mean, he commented on one of my videos. I was blown away. I didn't think anybody from the movie would ever see any of that stuff. I was mostly doing the videos for other people that want to build one for themselves. That's kind of just wanted to share what I found. Like, hey, if you want to build one yourself, here's at least some dimensions you can start with. And maybe I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty darn close, I think. And, just helping other people out. But I was blown away when Marty commented on one of my videos. I truly hope I get to meet him. That'd be incredible.
I did contact him. He said he will be there. So I will try and make a point of that. I think he would. I would love to see him walk up there, see it, and meet you. I just think that would just be kind of a full circle thing, almost. Kind of come back around. So
him and Joe Howe.
Yes,
Joe as well.
Yeah, Joe as well.
Definitely.
Very cool. They can tell me what I got wrong, actually. What did I miss?
Two of the neatest things he told me is what, there has been a lot of debate over the one thing on the top of the mast. It looked like a radar or a possible, like a lampshade or whatever. And he said it was a plastic bowl. I took it and I cut it in half, but we screwed it up there. And the other thing he told me about was when he was learning how to age and how the weather, about how they actually took actual bird shit and put it in the paint. That's how they got the top to look the way that it did, because you didn't want it to look new,
Yeah, speaking of the outside, depending on what frame you're looking at, that boat was just beat from I don't know when they started shooting on the boat, maybe June or July through September or whenever it wrapped, but you can tell the different scenes when the boat just was completely beat from being on the water, and they're not necessarily in order, right? Because I didn't film it in order. So, the copper around the mast is really oxidized in some scenes and brand new in some scenes. And
the continuity didn't match.
Yeah. So they, of course they're like, nobody's ever going to see this.
But nobody
stuff.
cares.
50 years later,
right. Verna still got an Oscar for it. So nobody cared.
So I had to pick, when I did the outside, I'm like, well, I'm no set designer, and I don't know how to weather anything. I've never even tried. And I experimented a little bit, and I hope it pulls off in real life. But, I had to pick a scene, but I don't know which scene I need to make it to. And so I chose the newer, when the boat was a little newer scenes because it was easier because I just, I don't have that talent to weather, so I couldn't make that when it looked a little more ratty.
I just had a thought. You'll be on the island with a bunch of production designers and directors. We'll help you do it, okay?
Yeah. Oh, that was awesome. I would. Yeah.
Party at the vineyard, and we're gonna weather the Orca.
Yeah. Let's crack some beers and weather it. I'm down.
Hey, we'll drink to your leg for that one.
We'll drink to your leg.
No doubt.
We're all over it.
Yeah. So I kind of just meant for the outside because I'm thinking, okay, I can't do the all around wraparound. I'll kill myself doing this. And so I'm like, well, okay, well, if we put it in the corner of somewhere, I can do 2 views and it's something recognizable because the way it was before, you wouldn't, it was just like a box with windows. You're like, what is this? But so I finished the 2, the aft bulkhead and the starboard bulkhead and hull, little chunk of the hull, and just, wanted it to look like somebody took a chainsaw and just cut this piece out of the boat. And, where the muffler usually goes, that insulation there, I tried everywhere that something would have been. I put bolt holes and rust, the best I can do with interpreting rust, fake rust, but I made it look like it was just taken off. So it was there before. So when you get close ups and you can walk around, you'll see like, oh, something used to be mounted there, and you can see where the muffler used to be mounted and different things. And I'm still discovering stuff. I don't know if you've seen Chrissy House and her Nika, I think it's pronounced Nika builds her ORCA models. She has the finest detail of anyone I've seen yet. So she doesn't miss a beat. And there's actually supposed to be cleats on the bulkhead out here where they tied the float tanks for the shark cage. You never see them in the movie, but for a blip, like I don't even know what the blip was. And she caught that and she had them in hers. I'm like, is there supposed to be cleats there? And I went around and found and said there was one behind the scene shot that you finally see the little cleats supposed to be there. So I'm still discovering stuff that I didn't know.
Impressive. Here's some of the attention to detail he was talking about as far as the instrument panel, gauges, and stuff of that. Again, left side you're looking at actual shot, and right side you're looking at his. And I mean, other than the fact that the brass is a little brighter, I mean, for God's sakes, it's just incredible. I mean, you got the spacing on the gauges pretty close. I mean, everything.
I'm pretty proud of this one because I actually built that before I found that picture on the left. So
no kidding.
I didn't see that till later. I think it was on John Tedder's, ORCA rebuild. I think it was on his Facebook page, but I didn't know about John Tedder either till way after I'd already had this together. And I was like, oh, this guy's going to build a full-size ORCA. Awesome. So I started looking through his photos. I was like, oh, the helm. I've never been able to see the helm up close, but I had already built mine. And so when I saw that shot and looked at it, I was like, oh, I got it, pretty much. But except for one thing, that little switch right there on the left side is still trying to find it. But anyway, I was pretty proud that I was able to get it that close without seeing a close-up shot of it.
Yeah, very, very impressive. We got Victor is commenting and saying that this definitely looks amazing. This looks better than the one used in the play, and he's also asking if you have the fighting chair.
I don't. No, I don't have any outside props. Again, I never meant to do anything to the outside, so I never. Well, I take that back. I did get some, like the stern light and something off the transom for a minute when, Tips from a Shipwright was going to do the ORCA. I was conversing with the producer for that for a minute and helping share just some drawings and stuff. And they were asking for some stuff. And I found like the little Perco stern light that you see when Quint's laying on the transom. I found stuff like that on eBay and I bought some of that for him. I'm not sure the status of what they're doing with that is, but I do have a couple of things from the outside, but nothing recognizable from, unless you really were looking at stills like I look at stills.
I just can't say anything. It's just,
I know.
It's been amazing. Yeah. Cort, he sent me some pictures to put in the book, and I thought it was like a model.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's really nice. And then in one of the pictures, I saw the reflection of a pickup truck in the glass in the galley. And I asked him, I said, do you make model trucks too? And he goes, no, that's my truck. And I said, oh my God.
It's in the garage right now. I kicked my truck up.
Yeah, this is a real, geez.
Yeah, no, it's the real thing. I mean, I'm confident I'm at least 95% accurate in dimensions. I do know I'm 3 inches short front to back. I found that out sadly after I
Oh well,
built.
that's it. You can't go now.
Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah, I'm out. But port to starboard, I bet I'm within under an inch. So yeah. Again, so much time drawing it, months of drawing it before I even put the first things together. And I did, and I think I say in one of the videos
You know, there's going to be somebody there with a tape.
What's that?
Sorry, Mike, we missed what you said there, bud.
What'd you say, Michael?
So you know there's going to be somebody there with a tape measure going, oh.
I don't mind at all.
I said, you know, someone's going to be there with a tape measure. And you're like, oh, I thought this was.
I won't be bothered at all. You know, when I first started building it, I didn't realize the
keep an
difference
eye out.
Can you guys hear me?
Sorry, we must have a little bit of a delay going with one of them. Sorry. Everybody there?
Yeah.
Everyone can hear everybody?
I'm here. Yeah, we're just admiring everything. I think we're all kind of like just staring at it, going, "Is it real? Is it not? Is it Memorex?" I mean, seriously, just I can't wait to see it in person. Yeah, I can't wait to see it in person.
And honestly, Cort, if someone were to come up and start questioning things, you know what I would do? I would pull a line from the movie. I'd say, "Show me your hands."
That's right.
City hands. You got city hands. Been counting money.
Take back.
Or just throw their ass out the around window in the boat.
There it is. There it is.
Front bow, back stern. Check out some more details here. Here we go.
Oh my gosh! Look at that.
I'm telling you.
Now, this picture intrigues me because I mean, look at the detail with the plates and everything. But what in the heck, and I'm going to ask Mike, I've never known this. What in the heck were they eating that night? What was on the plate?
Steak, I thought.
Was it steak?
Well,
because it's like the two guys eat, Quentin Hooper eat, and Brody doesn't touch his dinner.
He's probably seasick. He's seasick.
Because he's seasick. That's just a little touch they put in there. But yeah, I always thought it was steak.
Yeah,
I can never tell.
The Campbell's soup cans are mushroom and gravy Campbell's soup.
Yeah.
So my guess was it was like potatoes and mushroom and gravy soup.
That's cool.
That's detailed. That's detailed.
Yeah, so who knows anyway. But yeah, those weren't too hard. I think those are just Corel plates, close enough. Who knows if they're what they had there. But the teacups were a little challenging to find, but found close enough. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Incredible. And I heard, recalling some of your videos about what you went through trying to track down the simple little things like the teacups and the saucers and trying to stay accurate, like you have the same Coleman stove and the benzomatic bottles. And I mean, the amount of time that I think is people overlook that you spend researching and then searching like eBay and places like that to track these things down. I mean, those hours must easily equal the time spent building as well, I would assume.
Honestly, you're probably right. It was a lot of time, and I didn't do it all at once. I got an hour this week, tonight on a Saturday. Everybody else is engaged, and I'll just, start scrolling eBay and see if I can find it. And one thing at a time. And then over a couple of years, finally, figured out pretty much everything I need to figure out in the cabin. There's some other loose stuff in the movie, but it's such a glimpse of a shot. You can't, actually, let me grab something. I'll show you the last thing a prop I made, or not me, but my wife. So you see this for like a just two glimpses. It's the brown mug that sits up on the dash, and right when Quinn's bringing the harpoon out to put it together, it's on the table next to the little.
Yeah.
Anyway, I couldn't find this anywhere. My wife's a ceramicist, so I just asked her if she'd make me one.
Nice.
No kidding.
Wow.
Wow.
And what is her name? What is your wife's name?
My wife's name's Michelle.
Well, Michelle, thank you so much.
Wow, incredible.
That's a team player.
Yeah,
Yeah,
team player.
exactly.
Yeah,
Thank
like
you.
I said, she's just absolutely wonderful.
That's cool.
So, question: who did you get to do the upholstery? Like the local upholsterer? Because those guys are getting scarce these days.
Yeah, there's a guy down in a little strip mall that you never know if he's open. And I winged in there one day and said, I just need a simple like dinette cushion, this long and this long. And he's like, yeah, no problem. I'll see you in a couple days. He was in there whittling away, all quiet, by himself. And there's chairs everywhere and upholstery everywhere. The shop was a wreck, but super nice guy and did great work.
That's
Wow.
yeah. We had one down my way. I can only imagine he's no longer with us, but I mean, very old. Looked like he had trouble seeing, had trouble getting around, but he'd sit down behind the sewing machine and had it shears. And you're right, the shop was just filled with rolls of material. You know what? He knew where everything was. Oh yeah, there's 2 yards of this over there. Walk over there and grab it. It's under the yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, impressive.
Yeah, disappearing for sure.
Oh yeah, that is quickly becoming a lost art. Let's check out some more details here. Here we go. How about this?
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, baby.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So somebody's
Grabbing the-
remaking the dart, the repeater. I think that was eBay. Pretty sure. Almost everything I got was from eBay. So, and I had to have it. I was like, well, if he's making an identical replica, I mean, I've already gone this far.
Yeah.
It's really good quality. I really love the work of that prop. And of course, the stickers are from John Tedder for the tank, but that is an actual aqua lung tank.
Wow.
And that is heavy. So when you see him pick it up to hit the shark, and it seems like, oh, they did that because they want to blow it up later. I think if you hit a shark with it, it probably would mess it up. It's a really heavy tank.
Wow.
So there was ongoing debate about the scene where the tank rolls and hits Quinn's hand.
Yeah, it smashes his fingers. Yeah.
And smashes his fingers, and there was an ongoing debate. They're like, yeah, it's aluminum. It wouldn't do anything. I'm like,
no.
Cased aluminum gets pretty heavy. I mean, it's not steel. If that was a steel tank, you'd have trouble picking it up. First of all, yeah.
I'll let. Hey, when you guys come, we'll have a little drink in here, and I'll let you guys pick it up. But it's no joke. I think it really would smash your finger if it rolled onto it.
I tell you what, I will gladly take you up on that and listen. At the risk of sounding boulder intruding, if you want, we would be glad to come down and try and get a show from inside the ORCA with you one night if you have the time and availability. Please don't take that as have to, but we'd love to do that.
It's 50th. We only got one shot to do this, so I am game.
That's a great idea, Nate. I like that.
Can't wait. Man.
Yeah,
Are
that's a
there
great idea.
any items you're missing?
On the interior, maybe, you can't see all the maps. I had to fake a couple of the books. So, I don't know. Did I send you a shot of the books? Maybe we can pull that up and I'll discuss those.
Let me take a look here and see if we do.
So 2 of the books were just could not find. And then, you eventually, it got exhausting. I'm even tired now just finishing the outside. I'm actually kind of excited to be done. Looking at movie stills, just you're like, oh my God, I'm never going to watch this movie again. Of course,
never say never.
Yeah, no, I will. Don't worry. But anyway, I'm just on the tired side of it. But some of the books, the Atlantic Coast Guide or Coast Pilot, section 2 or book number 2, I cannot find in real life, and the Waterway Guide 74, which would have been just probably an annual publication. All those went in the trash. So those 2 are fake, but I do have all the other books for real.
That's cool.
I was asking Eric Augustin down in Florida is watching, and he has a amazing collection of memorabilia. Might have an extra 5 of something.
Yeah. That'd be cool. That's really the only other 2 things. I have the little orange flashlight. The compass is there. the aluminum kind of camping bowl thing. Of course, the radio. One of the stills I sent you side by side shows the deck, the floor, and you'll see the oil drum in it. And I found that it's a Texaco oil 5-gallon pail.
Okay.
There's the book.
Sorry, I don't have the shot of the book. So what I did is I knew the one video showed the books because you talk about the books. So there is the shot of the quick little shot of the books there. I think you actually zoom in and you said they're similar. They might not be the exact same ones because I can't get a hold of them.
Oh my God, I love
two
this.
of them, or sorry, 3 of them are the exact same. So the short course of navigation, charting the oceans, and the Atlantic Coast Pilot 1, those are exactly the book. But the other 2 I had to fake, and the third one I forget what it is. Boating Almanac, I think. But I think I have like volume 2 instead of volume 1.
Wow. Impressive. Yeah, you're talking about thermos. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's pretty close. It's good enough.
I mean, you know what? 99% of the people are going to walk by that and go, "Yep, that's spot on." I mean, honestly,
I agree with
first
that.
of all, out of respect, I wouldn't question anything. I mean, I am completely in awe by what you have.
Thank you.
What you have going on here, and the obvious investment of time and equity and sweat and everything else. I think a lot of people would kind of get to a point where you'd be like, you know what, close enough. I have the basic premise. I can kind of fake the rest. And you took it. I mean, watching your videos down to the teacups and down to the fuel tanks for the grill and everything. I mean, really, it's all there. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to post your videos up on the sites after the show's over tonight for people to kind of get on and check out.
Yeah, and
So there's a side by side there where he was talking about earlier with the upholstery, and you can see it's spot on with the buttons. And,
it is. Look at that. It's amazing.
And if you look at where Dreyfus's arm is, and you would think it like the window would kind of ledge out at the edge, and you can see that there's another handful. There's a space there. Yeah, I mean it's all there. It's all there. Incredible. Yeah.
That's, believe it or not, when I put the cushion is when I figured out I was 3 inches too short because the buttons didn't line up with one of the planks. I'm like, why doesn't the button line up? And then I started counting. Like, oh.
But
so
you're your own worst critic. Sorry, I apologize. Sorry.
Well, I'm going to say anybody who's done a project like this, they want to make it perfectly, especially if you're working on stage or whatever. JD can probably, and Mike can vouch for this. You get into your head and you want to make sure it's good because there's somebody going to point it out.
Yeah.
Right.
Mistake, because my dad used to do set design all the time. So I understand what you're saying. How many hours is this total?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't keep that track of that.
Estimation.
Yeah, I'd say I started in 21. That summer's when I started drawing it, and I really had I at least had the floor and a lot of the walls together probably by the end of that winter. So maybe early 22 was when 75% of it was there. The wind chills, such a pain.
Yeah.
I've had to do those
Especially
a couple
Michigan.
times. So, and literally I just put the overhead in last week. So it didn't have an overhead this entire time. So I don't know. I mean, it was 6 months solid of like a lot of weekends, as much as I could. We do have a daughter, and I try to be a good dad, and I'm very present and love to play. And so between that and working full time, you get 4 hours on Saturday, maybe if Michelle's
because. Well, one of our new members, Alan, he says that's a lot of dedication, and he is just floored.
But like everybody has their own hobbies. I work on classic trucks and I tinker on stuff. I don't really do. I play music too, but I don't really do anything else. I don't, like I said, I don't do social media, or I don't watch too much TV and any of that stuff. I'm just like to move and do stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Incredible. We did a couple of guys commenting here. So Eric Augustin, he's one of the ones actually Mike was talking about, who has a ton of stuff and some
Yeah.
He said he's going to be there for the 50th all week. So I will guarantee you'll probably be talking to him. And Valentino Capone has hopped on as well and joined us as well. So yeah,
Awesome.
man, it's going to be a popular place.
You're going to have a lot of fans on that island. Trust us.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Friends.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Just mingling, going around, seeing stuff, meeting people from the movie, and I mean, yeah.
You know what? You could spend a day. I think it would be fun just sitting where you're at and just letting people kind of wander on through and having small talk and conversation. And really.
Yeah, that's the one thing. So I do want people to come in and look around and enjoy it. I'm trying to figure that out because I don't know. Who knows what the crowds are going to be, and so I got to think of a polite way to be like, a picture, and you got to move along. There's other, So I'm talking with Anna at the museum, like, what should we do about crowd control or something? I don't expect it to be some kind of out the door event, but you never know. Like when people get in here, if they want to like settle in for a little bit. So just stuff like that we're working through.
It's hard to judge. So this is a picture. This is a still from the movie right here of when Quint is having the conversation about, hey, I just got a couple stripers, won't be long or whatever.
It won't be long to dinner.
Yeah, so you can see some of the shot, with some of the Coleman stove, little cot up there. You can see he's at the helm there, and then here is the shot of his Cort's helm. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I don't see any dents in the CB though, so that must have been a.
No, I didn't go so far as to smash it. But
you got your club?
There's actually, that radio was fairly hard to find because again, no names on it, and it's a very old radio, but it is a Motorola. There's two different models it could be. I think I have the right one, but there's another guy online, Nolan Philpott. He's very keen at seeing and knowing details and stuff too. And he thinks it's a different model, which is almost identical, but it's black. So the model I have is white, but I spray painted it black. But later on in ORCA 2, if you see it when it's smashed, it does have white underneath all the black paint. So I'm curious if they did the same thing.
Nice.
Interesting. Very interesting. Wow.
Oh my goodness. I'm excited now. I can't wait for June. I'm sorry.
The white cord in the handle is kind of telling there. So,
I know. I'm just ready. Let's go.
Man, unbelievable. Right. Let's see what else we got here. I have some other pictures. I honestly, I just kind of pulled. I think when you and I were on the last time.
Sure.
And so the one I have to point out is the toolbox, because I'll be honest with you, one of my favorite scenes in the movie, I just think it was so masterfully done, when they are working on the ORCA and Hooper and Quint are below deck, and the Craftsman toolbox is sitting there, and the ratchet, and the sockets are out, and the ratchets out, and the wrenches, and they're literally doing the dialogue with their hands, Yeah, go turn it full rudder, the injectors are scored, the hands are doing the talking and working through the scene. I absolutely love that scene. So as soon as I saw the toolbox, it just takes me right to that spot. Yeah, very cool.
That was one of the last finds, was that Craftsman toolbox.
Incredible.
Wow.
Very impressive. Sorry, we're just all in awe over this.
Seriously, because we're just drooling. It's like I feel like I need a napkin right here, or a bib or something, because the detail, like we said, it's amazing, and the dedication that you've done, and your wife has done even for this, and to have you share it with all of us fans in June, it's going to be amazing. I'm really excited, and I'm excited for you.
Yeah, I'm really excited, and it's going to be a once in a lifetime. I never ever thought I would go to Martha's Vineyard.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and to bring that there, it's oh God, there's a word I'm looking for, but I can't. Serendipitous. There we go.
Yes. It really has been, truly. Like I said, I didn't build this to do this. It just kind of grew legs and ended up this way. So very excited that we're here. And I'm excited to be talking to all of you and get to meet you in person on the island. And yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Incredible.
Awesome.
We got Crystal McGinn joining us all the way from Scotland as well. She's saying, imagine having this as a bedroom.
Oh,
Built and decorated like that.
my
Just
gosh.
saying. Yeah.
It would be
Crystal,
Hi from
we,
Scotland.
we need to have that sucker float and have like an Airbnb, girl.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Very impressive. Very
Mhm.
impressive. Awesome. Wow. Yeah, I just been kind of trying to scroll through some of your shots that you have in your video, and
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of keep pulling those up here. I'm trying to keep them in line with some of our conversation here.
Yeah.
But you know, some of these shots and some of the details. I mean, little things like the liquor bottles that are sitting next to the Motorola. You know, so you can see the shot in the left of the movie clip, and then even tried to match up the liquor bottles down to what they were, and at least matching the labels and stuff. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
impeccable. The
The,
details
cl-
that
the,
you put in.
the Canadian club is dead on. I had to fake
Uh-huh.
the vodka one, but I found out later. I found out when I faked it. It's a SS Pierce, which is like a bottom shelf Boston, liquor store. I'm a hopeful. Actually, I'm staying in Cape Cod the night before we get on the island, so I'm gonna. I've already told my wife, like, I have to visit a couple liquor stores because I got to find this bottom shelf vodka. I need the real bottle. They don't sell it over here. I don't even know if they still sell it.
Yeah, that's. I was gonna say it's hard to believe. You know, you gotta wonder if it's still made or not, or yeah.
I'm pretty sure
But
it
yeah,
is. There's still online liquor stores post SS Pierce vodka, and the label still looks fairly similar today. But I don't know if those are from 15 years ago or what. But
Right.
sure. Wow. And there has to be, at least in my mind, still some intrigue because you're still you're still caught up with those details, so you're still on the hunt per se. I would assume, correct?
no, I think my hunting days are over. I found everything I'm good with. Like I said, I got the binocular case, and I have the little somebody called it like a ducket ashtray. It's just a little sandbag ashtray that's red on the bottom and gold on top. I have that. Like anything that you would see in any reasonable viewing of the movie, I have. So, and now if you're freeze framing some scene that I didn't dig into, then there might be something missing. But I think I'm done.
Okay. All right. Impressive. Wow. Awesome. So I do have I'm sorry if I'm monopolizing the conversation here, guys. Please just jump in or just tell me to be quiet. I'm just so intrigued by what's coming across here.
We're looking at it in awe, literally.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sitting here. Actually, my thought process was, this is part of a movie that people have gone to the vineyard. They've always gone to the vineyard to visit. They go to the sites, they go to the filming places and everything. They meet people like Jeff Voorhees. But to step on a replica of what the ORCA's cabin is, that's going to be so excessive for somebody's core memory. Am I wrong?
Oh,
No.
you think so?
Hope so.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, not that you're wrong. I hope that's how they feel.
That's what they're going to feel this, because if I'm feeling it just sitting here looking at this, you're bringing something that's so amazing that it's a little extra something special for the fans, because they always see those the stills, or they see the pictures, or they see the film, of the three of them in the cabin. Now they get to be in that cabin and feel that energy, and that's going to be great. I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to stress to MV Museums. Like, I want people to be able to come inside and
absolutely
feel, and because honestly, the first time I got to sit in it after, it was probably when I only had the starboard side done, but that's the view when Quinn's on the radio, and that was the first time I was like, oh my, like it's real.
You're transported, right? Exactly. You are transported at that time. You're transported at that scene. You're sitting at the table when they start singing the song. So it's going to be so many emotions
Yeah.
where it's just going to be a great time.
A lot of people got to visit the Orca before it rotted away at Hollywood Studios, but
At Universal,
then,
yeah.
Yeah, or Universal, yeah, thank you. And but there was no props on it. It was just a really beat, broken, probably moldy and gross old boat. So being able to walk in with the way it looked in the scenes, I think it's probably that cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like you're actually walking on the set, and now you're a part of it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Cort, are you going to let people actually walk on it?
Yeah. Yep.
Ooh, are you charging?
No, should I?
No.
No, this is and honestly, this has all just been for fun and just a life experience and something I didn't know I wanted to do a long time ago, but probably wanted to in my subconscious and just did it finally. And I'm in it just for the fun and the experience, the lifetime experience of this whole event. So I do want people to come inside. I do want to be able to control traffic though, and definitely probably limit 2 at a time or something.
Right.
And if there's kids, we'll probably have them chaperone so none of the props get picked up or anything. But I don't care if it's at the table. Like I said, I'm not worried about scuff marks. When I built it, obviously you have to build the floor first, foundation up, right? But I took zero effort to protect anything while I was building it. This is supposed to be a beat up old fishing boat. So when I was cutting wood, I'd cut it right on the floor. When I drug something across it, I'd drag it across the floor. I beat it up while I was building it on purpose so that it doesn't look. I don't want it to look brand new. It needs to look
They're
well
showing
worn and
the
stuff.
they're showing the wear and tear of what a real fishing boat would have been if he was on it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You see the pre-production photos behind the scenes when they're outfitting the Orca. Now all the teak lines are still bright and beautiful. You don't see any of that in the movie. It's all worn out and dirty.
Sure.
The way it should be, the way any boat would be.
Yeah.
It is. And I mean, even like like little odd shots, like when Hooper's sitting there and he's playing solitaire, letting time go. You can actually see where the red paint is worn through to the primer.
Right.
It's just things like that. So yeah, and when it comes to making and reproducing things, I think a lot of people don't think about that and how much that characterizes where you're at and what you're doing. Everyone wants everything to be pristine, neat, shiny surface, no imperfections. Yet that is definitely not what the Orca was. And so
Nope.
you definitely have that in mind. But man, incredible job. Yeah.
Yep. I work on big yachts today, so absolutely they must be shiny and pristine and perfect.
Sure. Awesome. Great. Wow, man, absolutely love it. I am just over the moon thrilled and excited. Cannot wait number one, to meet you, Cort,
You as well,
and talk to you in person. And I cannot wait to check this thing out. It's definitely going to be. I mean, I will be at the museum for quite a bit, and I will definitely be making this a haunt for myself. I can tell you that 100%.
Hey, Juanita.
Hey there. Hey, everybody.
Juanita, hello.
Juanita!
So
Juanita and I
awesome.
have a donut date, and we're taking Jen with us.
Okay.
What am I, an
Girls
orphan?
only,
I can't
sorry.
go.
No, girls, no. It has to be me, Juanita, and Jen. Sorry.
Corey, when you're there, you got to go to Backdoor Donuts.
Okay.
Yep.
It is exactly what it sounds like. You literally walk into the parking lot, knock on the door, and they hand you something so fresh you got to wrap it so it doesn't burn your hand. And it's great, especially after you walked up from offshore and had a good meal and a couple of ales. It's
Awesome.
a perfect way to end the night. Trust me.
I'm telling you, you'll walk down the street and it's like when, they say Disney pumps in smells when you walk on Main Street. That's what it smells like. And all of a sudden
That's
you just,
incredible.
and you follow it.
Yeah, I can't wait to be on the island and just kind of take it all in. That's going to be awesome. I will be at the museum a good chunk of it, but we're going to work out to where hopefully one of the staff can take over kind of just monitoring while people are going in and out so I can get out and really explore.
So
Sure.
this will be your first time then.
Yeah.
This is my first time. I never thought I would ever go to the island. I'm from the West Coast, and I only go to for my wife. Well, she's originally from Chicago, So when we first moved out here, we lived in Chicago for a couple of years, but I didn't sit well with me, so we ended up in Michigan. Yeah, I'm a Midwesterner now, transplant, but now I'm that much closer. I mean, Niagara Falls is only an 8-hour drive, so pretty much you can get to a lot of different things I never thought I would be able to get to.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, feel free to bend some ears of the people here, because we've all been to the island a bunch of times, and be glad to help you out as far as show you places to go, or maybe go hit a spot with you while you're there. I think it'd be a lot of fun. A lot of cool surprises the island, both Jaws and non-Jaws related. Really neat place to visit. So awesome.
Yeah, we can't wait.
Great. Awesome. Well, all right, guys. Cort, did anyone else have any questions at all? Did I miss anything?
No.
Pretty good. We want to thank you for your time, and thank you for your generous donation of pictures, and honestly taking the time to share this with everyone. I think is just amazing. And I mean, I'm sure just getting it there is going to be quite the feat. From what I understand, it was quite fun just getting ferry tickets set up for you, just to get it over to the island. So it's
been great. I can't thank MV Museum enough. They've all been fantastic to work with, and they really went above and beyond to help me get on the island to show this and be a part of it. So, and that, big time to them.
Awesome.
It's gonna look great. I'm excited.
Not only speaks to your dedication, it speaks to you as a person. The fact that you're willing to share yours with the world, because a lot of people would not offer that up. And so that's pretty impressive, bud. I want to commend you on that. Oh,
yep.
Great. All right. Well, we're going to wrap things up here as we round out the hour. And Cort, again, want to thank you, and thanks for the visuals. And I'll be posting up Cort's videos after the show tonight. So if you guys want to sit and watch, listen, you've got to, because it gets into some of this a little more detail than what we did here tonight. Some great stuff that you can see there. Catch him before you go see it in person. Yeah, we got a comment there. Yep. So see you around, Cort. So yeah, definitely. And if you're going to be on the island, you've got to stop and see this thing. I mean, without a doubt. So
thanks again, everybody. It was so nice to meet all of you. I can't wait to see you in person.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, don't be surprised if some of us just kiss, the ground when we're in it.
Or try and sleep on it at night.
Or sleep on it. Yeah, that might be. Yeah.
Pick you out in the morning.
I'm staying on the Cape, but if I miss that ferry, buddy, guess where I'm going?
Well, I got 4 of these teacups, so we might have to try and find a couple more. So we sit around and talk for a bit.
You might be epoxying those things down to the table. Make sure they don't walk away.
That is exactly what I would do. Yes.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Not of taking stuff, but of people doing that. Because I remember Nicotero's shark, after first day of Jaws Fest, people had snatched teeth out of it.
Out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're definitely, I'll be on site, or there'll be a staff member, and I think we're gonna limit 2 at a time, and kids have to have a chaperone. So I think that's probably the best way to do it.
Yeah.
I think that'd be smart. Yeah. Well, hey, we got a bunch of people at home saying can't wait. Thank you very much for your time, Cort. Love to see the ORCA. Very impressive, and be looking for you at the 50th. So
thanks.
So that's it. That's going to wrap us up. And we have a little tradition that we do here on Let's Talk Jaws Live. We do a little thing called Fins Up to everybody. So you guys at home, thank you for hanging out and joining us. And we're going to let Quint take us out as he always does. You guys, thank you very much. Have yourselves a wonderful week. Have yourselves a wonderful holiday weekend as well. And we'll be back again. We'll be back in 7.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye-bye.